Welcome back. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. He is Cameron Lynch. This is week 6 of Off the Edge. In case you missed us, we're back. But we didn't go anywhere. It just we're consistently doing one a week. So I don't know why you're missing us, but we appreciate it nonetheless. Wild week 5. Cam is the only one that had anything going on as far as the top performers. I just swung and missed everywhere, every which way. Cam nailed Sam Darnold, throwing 4 tutties, 341 yards, and Devin Lloyd, who I know everyone talks about Trevor Lawrence with the bizarre game-winning touchdown, but they don't win that game without Devin Lloyd making a play, channeling James Harrison at the goal line, and picking off Patrick Mahomes. What a performance from Devin Lloyd and Sam Darnold. I know he didn't come away with the win, but Cam, talk to me real quick. I mean, you had these two in your top performers highlights, and we'll do more this week, but I was really impressed with these two.
Yeah, Jake, Devin Lloyd, outstanding. He might be linebacker of the NFL right now. I know Fred Warner is always in the running for that, but Devin Lloyd, the way he played against the 49ers, Jake, he had, I think, 2 interceptions that game, and then followed with this game. He pretty much games Patrick Mahomes. And like to call game on Patty Mahomes, that's like doing that against like Jordan or Steph or LeBron. That's tough to do. So Devin Lloyd with that 99-yard touchdown was outstanding. And it was towards the end of the game, Jake. And so they needed that touchdown. It was in the red zone for the Chiefs, and there was a little drop back that he did. I think he's at the line of scrimmage, and he dropped back, picked it off, and then ran it all the way. That was really impressive. Just having, I think, was it 3 interceptions? So 4 interceptions. He's now tied in the league.
He's crazy.
At number 1 at a linebacker. So, me playing linebacker, it's good to see. I do like Patrick Mahomes. That's my guy. But Devin Lloyd, you got to show him some love the way he's progressing each week. And then you talk about Sam Darnold, Jake, just his stats. I mean, like you mentioned, he threw for, 300 yards this past game. He went 28 for 34, 4 TDs, which is great, and 1 interception. But they took the L. The Buccaneers ended up finding a way to win. It was a battle of Ohio State wide receivers with JSN and Ebuka. Those guys put on a clinic. Jake, I was watching the game, and I told my father-in-law, I was like, hey, and my wife, Erica, I was like, if you watch this game, if you're a young receiver, you turn this game on to see how the position is played with both receivers from Ohio State. It was a clinic that they put on. It was really exciting to see Sam Darnold slinging the football, Jake. And then you talk about the running backs with Zach Charbonnet and Walker. I mean, just that complementary offense is good to see. And I know we talked about it, but Seattle could be a playoff Super Bowl contender, just the way that they're playing, Jake. I know we like the Rams over here, and the Rams.
I like Seattle. I like what they're picking up. I mean, look, they lost 2 games. The 2 games they lost to, they're playing each other. We're going to get into it in this show, 4-1 each. So Seattle looks good, man. They do. I know they lose that game. I know that hurts. I know people are going to look at it. Bucks are banged up. It's in Seattle. How do you blow that? Look, the Sam Darnold interception people keep using against him, it was off a helmet. It was just one of those fluky plays. I thought they played really well. And exactly to your point, teach tape. Emeka Egbuka, never had a doubt, was my offensive rookie of the year before the season started. People were like, what? Emeka Egbuka? Really? He wasn't even the top receiver. I don't give a rip. He absolutely is. And then, JSN, who I've said for a while now, I'm like, he's a superstar. What Brian Hartline, wide receiver coach at Ohio State is doing needs to be viewed because Jeremiah Smith is coming in next year. Okay. And Egbuka was number 2 on that. Like, let's remind people.
That's crazy.
Everything Abuka's doing, he was number 2 on that Ohio State wide receiver room. That's crazy. Jeremiah Smith is next. Dude, it's absolutely insane. Brian Hartline, you are a certifiable G. Yeah. And I love watching. Dude, I love watching these receivers, man. Yeah. It's fun to watch.
And then Jake, sorry, really quick though. Sam Darnold, real quick, he's seventh in the league with passing, so he has 1,246 yards.
Yeah.
He's third with his completion percentage, so 73.1. And so he's putting on another clinic, right? He was with the Vikings last year, and he was in the MVP race, and we were like, wait, Sam Darnold in the MVP race? What is this? And then he comes out and puts on similar performances, Jake. So I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of Baker Mayfield. They were both once a part of the Panthers quarterback room, which is crazy, and they gave both of those guys up. And then you got guys like Daniel Jones as well. That's accelerating. That's moving the football. And even Mac Jones, Jake. And
he looks good.
I mean, I'm getting a little ahead of myself when it comes to the top performers because Mac Jones is in there. But
you're excited. It's okay, Cam. We know you're excited. You can see it all over your face.
It's good ball, brother.
He wears his heart on his sleeve. You can see it. This man loves football. Just look at him. You know,
absolutely.
He's got the shield on. Come on now.
Yeah. Shout out to the shield.
So let's dive right into the top performers. You know, you segued that. You have Mac Jones at quarterback versus the Buccaneers. Talk to me a little bit. What made you select Mac Jones as the top performer at quarterback this week?
Yeah, just the way he stepped in against the Rams, Jake. We cover the Rams, my guy. We're like, oh, Mac Jones, he's the knee brace on, he's cramping. Is he going to finish his game? And Jake, him and Kendrick Bourne, they went off. Kendrick Bourne went off for like 100 and something yards. They put on, I want to say a clinic, but they showed how you're supposed to fight through adversity. This Rams defense, super tough, not allowing any rushing touchdowns, which was great. But this Mac Jones team stepping in for the 49ers for Brock Purdy was super impressive. He was slinging the ball over the field. He didn't really make many mistakes, Jake, and it was just impressive. Kyle Shanahan, just the way he was able to insert a quarterback into his system, find success. Christian McCaffrey, Jake, we talked about it. I mean, the guy was catching the football all over the place. He only ran for about 50 or so yards, just like Saquon, but he was catching the ball everywhere, bro, and it was very frustrating. But Mac Jones putting together a good game. Let's see here.
Bourne from New England, just the fact that. Yeah. Hey, chemistry doesn't die. Cam and I did Believe in Rams, and we did Off the Edge, and then we stopped doing Off the Edge for a little bit. Now here we are. Has our chemistry died?
Not at all, sir.
There you go. There you go, right? Yeah. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
You know, Kendrick Bourne had a cup of coffee in New England without Mac Jones, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to need my boy Mac Jones. There we go.
Right. And now they're cooking. I mean, at one point, Jake, I was like, who's going to double team Kendrick Bourne? Like, are we gonna double team him at some point? And the crazy part, Jake,
like
is
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, I mean, bro, and they were out Ricky Pearsall, who's had like 100 receiving yards like in the past 3 games. He had a knee injury. They're without Kittle, like they're without a lot of their weapons, and they still won. So for me, that shows grit, that shows toughness. And Mac Jones, even though they're the rival, Jake, you got to show respect, bro, and hat off. He crushed it. So I got him doing this thing against the Buccaneers this week. I don't say similar to Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold had an elite game, but something close, I would say.
I like that. I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford against the Ravens. I would probably say Matthew Stafford's the MVP of the league right now. What he's doing, man, he had to have all of that kind of managed with the back, right? Because he's carrying the Rams offense on his back. Yeah. Obviously, Puka Nacua should be up there for MVP as well. But what we're seeing from Matthew Stafford is the best ball I think we've ever seen from him. 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Well, they gave him one when he tossed it to Blake Corum. I'm not going to get into it. I still can't believe they gave him the fumble for that. Regardless, Matthew Stafford did not throw a pick. 3 touchdowns, 389 yards against the 49ers. The week before, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns against a very good Indianapolis Colts team. And we're seeing it. I mean, they had 3 picks on Geno Smith. So here's the deal, okay? Stafford is, I believe, 2 touchdowns away from passing Jared Goff on the all-time Rams list. He's going to do it this weekend against the Baltimore Ravens, a team that just gave up 4 touchdowns to C.J. Stroud. And if you thought Matthew Stafford's pass protection has been rough, look at C.J. Stroud's, okay? It ain't great over there. The Ravens did go out, and I thought it was a really sneaky trade. They traded Odafe away, who's in a contract year, and they go out and they get Alohi Gilman, who I think is one of the more underrated safeties in football. So now you bring him in there. Doesn't really know the defense, and he's very new, but he's probably going to play. And then they brought in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's been a Pro Bowler. So you brought in pieces to potentially figure that secondary out. I don't think it's going to matter, though. I think Matthew Stafford, he's going to go off. There's no Lamar Jackson this week. It's probably going to be our guy Snoop Huntley, Pro Bowler in his own right.
Yeah.
So gotta give him his love.
Cooper Rush wasn't doing it.
No. So last time Huntley played against the Rams, it was a 1-point win for the Rams. Okay, say what you will about Huntley. He can manage a game, but I think Stafford is going to go off in this one because he's going to be pissed to all hell that they lost last week.
Agreed. Yeah, Jake, I need to actually switch him and Dak Prescott on my fantasy football team because I'm looking at this Ravens defense and they're last in the NFL in total yards allowed, which is crazy.
12 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, come on, fam. 31st in yards allowed per game, rushing yards per game 29th, and then touchdowns allowed. Yeah, they're last with 12. So, yeah, it's going to be a field day for Matthew Stafford. One of the things, too, Jake, is Matthew Stafford wins if they protect the football. Like you mentioned, Kyron with the fumble, Blake Corum with the fumble, that crushed us. And at the end of the day, Jake, if we turn the football over as in the Rams, we don't really deserve to win. So shout out to the 49ers. That Mac Jones and Matthew Stafford matchup was great to see.
So you got Saquon against the Giants. How you feeling?
He almost ran for 200 last year. He's about to go off again, I think, this year. And Jake, we're not really seeing the rushing performance from Saquon as we've seen before, similar to Christian McCaffrey, Jake, because I think that most defenses are like, look, we're going against one of the toughest weapons in the NFL. Let's stop the run and force them to show us their pass catching skills. And they're both doing it. Saquon had a touchdown last week, a passing touchdown, which was cool to see. And then I think this game, though, I think he gets more rushing yards. I think they open up that run game. They get A.J. Brown going. Devontae Smith he ate last week, right, again, with 100 or so yards. But A.J. Brown, not necessarily. And so I think Saquon running the ball a little bit more, then opening up the pass game for A.J. Brown. I think he's gonna go off this week against the Giants.
It just always kind of felt like that, right? He's got off to a slow start, and then you see the Giants on their schedule, and that's your get-right game. How teams have get-right games? Well, Saquon needs a get-right game, and I think he's going to have that this week against the Giants. And, they're giving up yards on the ground, so I definitely think, Saquon can have that. For me, I'm circling a team that has given up 4. I'm not kidding, by the way. They're not half the league hasn't given up one of these such runs. They've given up 4 40-plus yard runs this year. The Tennessee Titans, man, I still think they're going to win the game, and we'll get into that when we do. But Ashton Jeanty is going to go off, my guy. He is going to go off. This Titans defense hasn't been able to figure it out against the run. They are giving up so many yards. They're giving up crazy yards per carry, and they've given up the most touchdowns on the ground. Give me Ashton Jeanty as the top running back performer this week. And I'll say right now, I am so mad that I didn't know Rico Dowdle was going to play because I actually put money on this guy. I would have put him as the top performer. I didn't find out until after we did our show. I was so mad because, man, I had him in all my fantasy leagues. I knew Rico Dowdle was going to go off. Cam, I bet on him. You won't even believe this. You will not believe this. I took the plus 175 for the yards. I bet on plus 175, and he had 200 plus. Crazy day for him.
Crazy day. And you mentioned Ashton Jeanty. It seems like he's starting to catch his groove, Jake. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He had 2 touchdowns last week, and then you mentioned the Tennessee Titans defense. You can just line them up right with the Ravens. I mean, they're last pretty much in every single category. A little bit better than the Ravens, but last in every single category. So that's not great. Similar to what Cam Ward said, hey, they're ass right now, and that's okay. But they might get the dub, like you mentioned. They might get the dub. Alec Emenyor, he's been balling out the receiver position. But Ashton Jeanty, Jake, I really like that. I'll go with my wide receiver if that's cool with you. I'm going to go back to the Seahawks. Sam Darnold's connection with Jackson Smith and Jigba, like we talked about, that Ohio State U. I mean, they got so many receivers in the NFL that are balling out right now, but Jackson Smith and Jigba going crazy. I think at the end of the day, he had 8 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown. And so to line up across, I won't say line up across, but against his former teammate in Ibuka. And to both of them put up a great performance was awesome. Like I mentioned, he put up teach tape. And then you think about like your DK Metcalf, you think about your Tyler Lockett's and what that offense used to be. But then now you have JSN and those running backs. I mean, bro, they're cooking right now. And so I'm really excited to see that. Not excited for the NFC West because it's going to be challenging for the Rams, but it's really good to see those guys balling out. And this makes it competitive. We like competitive football. So.
Oh, I totally agree. And, I want to actually say, I feel like Ibuka and Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to be like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
When you see those guys playing against each other, there's like a friendly competition. It's almost like a side bet, if you will. Who's going to have more receiving yards? Who's going to have the better game? That's how I felt going into that. So I love this pick. And I don't know why I didn't go with Ibuka last week because I also felt Ibuka too. Put money down Ibuka, felt really good about him. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with me lately, Cam, but I'm all over the place. But how about this? I love Njigba. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league. Absolutely love your pick. Jaguars defense is really good, and they got some good corners out there, but I feel like he's just kind of one of those guys that JSN is going to eat no matter who he goes against. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a star. Speaking of a guy who's going to eat no matter what he goes up against, he's going to eat, especially when he doesn't have anything to go up against, because I'm doing a 180 here, okay? Yeah. Last week I said Justin Fields against the Cowboys defense, and that burned me, okay? But the Cowboys give up crazy plays, okay? Crazy long plays. They give up the most explosive passing plays. And so for that reason, while I thought about Bryce Young, I still think Matthew Stafford has the better day. So give me Teteroa McMillan, okay? I love Ibuka. I think Ibuka is the best receiver in this draft. But Teteroa McMillan is him. And we're going to see McMillan have his breakout day. So, Cam, I went with a wily veteran and the 37-year-old Matthew Stafford to start us off. And then I just went with two rookies. So what do you think about that?
No, I like it, Jake. I mean, it's good to see, especially for this Panthers offense. Xavier Legette is struggling a little bit, but McMillan being able to step in and make big plays. I think a week ago, someone was like, damn, it looks like he's jumping off a trampoline just the way he's been able to go and high point the football. Hasn't had many touchdowns, Jake, but like you mentioned, this could be his chance to have a breakout game and hit the end zone. I love that. I'm going to go to the defensive side, Jake. I got my guy Robert Spillane for the Patriots against the New Orleans Saints. Jake, so we talked about the Saints offense, and they're struggling a little bit, but now they're starting to find their way back. And I think Spillane's going to have a big day when it comes to the Saints. This most recent game, he had 39 tackles total, 1 sack, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. So I think it was since so the Patriots had another linebacker. He's slipping my mind, but in 2019 that he set some of these records, and Spillane is following suit. So it was a good trade going from the Raiders to the Patriots, rekindled with this guy and the head coach there. So I like Spillane this week as my standout linebacker, standout defensive player.
He's a baller, man. He's a baller. I love what the Patriots are doing. Right now, I don't know how to feel about the Saints in that game. Saints have just been one of those teams that just they stay in it. They're going to be that competitive bad team. They're going to have a terrible record, but they're going to be in most of their games. You just got to give, appreciation to that. That's good football. Yeah. But yeah, I like the Spillane pick. I'm going to go with one that probably nobody is expecting or even is thinking of, not even Steelers fans, Nick Herbig. Okay. He's balling out this year. He's doing a really nice job playing the right side of the defensive line. And he's an edge defender that is going to get to work against KT Leviston, who very happy he's getting an opportunity to start. He was originally with the Rams, wasn't going to get a chance. They traded him to the Browns. I don't think that when the Rams traded him, they thought the Browns were going to play him at left tackle day one. So here he is now starting. It's not great over there, Cam. I like him. I hope he figures it out. He's not doing it in this game. Nick Herbig is going to go off. He has 3 sacks on the year. I think we're going to see a huge game from him. I'm going to say 6 pressures, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble for Nick Herbig in a big Steelers win against the Browns.
Oh yeah, Joe Flacco's over there now. So, and you mentioned Joe Flacco's mobility is very limited, and then also you think
Well,
about
he's with
Nick.
the Bengals now. They got the young
Oh,
kid. They got
that's
Dylan
right.
Gabriel.
That's right, Jake. That trade
Yeah,
just happened with Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, good luck, Dylan. I mean, line up with T.J. Watt on the other side. And you talk about Nick Herbig on the right side. I mean, everyone slides over to TJ Watt's side. And so Nick Herbig, he's gonna probably have more one-on-ones than normal. And so, like you
exactly.
mentioned, he's gonna be able to find some wins, a lot of pressures. And then Dylan Gabriel. I mean, are we gonna see Shador quicker than we thought? But Dylan Gabriel, he
Pray
gets
for
the
the
ball out
man.
quick.
We don't want him to get hurt.
Pray for the young man. And we don't want him to have a welcome to the NFL moment. But this
Yes.
Steelers defense, Jake, they had about 5 turnovers. I think it was against the Vikings. It was 2 weeks ago. And so that could be the same for the Browns, and it could get ugly.
That was the weirdest game plan before we get into our primetime games here. The weirdest game plan of the week. Okay. And this is weirder than Chris Shula playing cover 2 against Mac Jones like he thought he was Josh Allen. The weirdest thing was that Mr. Blitz, okay, Brian Flores was not aggressive and did not go after Dylan Gabriel. I don't get that. He didn't put enough pressure on a young quarterback in another country.
Yeah. Go
Like
get
they
him.
won. They didn't win because they did anything special on defense. Gabriel took care of the football. I was surprised. That's all I'll say. I was surprised. So we move on. Vikings, and speaking of Vikings, they finally get a bye, right? The back-to-back prime, I guess prime time, 9:30 a.m. if you want to call it that.
International.
International games back-to-back, wild. Well, they get a very well-deserved bye, and so do the Texans after a huge win for them blowing out the Ravens. So let's start off with the primetime games. We're starting off Eagles, Giants. I mean, I think we already know where we're going. You have Saquon going off in this game. The Giants are kind of the Giants. Cam, I'm going to take the Eagles 24-13. It feels like one of those kind of, the Eagles, I'll tell you this right now, they haven't looked good in any of their wins or their losses. They just haven't looked good this year. They find ways to win. They do it ugly. So I'm expecting them to do it ugly. I could absolutely see Jackson Dart looking terrible and them just getting to him. But I think they're going to stay in this thing, and they're getting Tyrone Tracy back this week, which will help. But I don't think they're going to win this game. So give me the Eagles 24-13. And I agree with you. I think Saquon Barkley goes over 125 in this game.
Yeah. Saquon has a field day this game. Like you said, this is his get-right game, I would say. For this matchup, Jake, I'm going to go Eagles as well, 27 to the Giants 17. Dart gave the ball away a little bit too much for me last game, Jake. He fumbled it one time and threw an interception the other time. I think the Giants had, 5 turnovers this most recent game. It wasn't pretty, my guy. So I think with this one, I know you have guys like Zach Bond on the defensive side who's flying around the football, making big plays against the Rams. He had to pick the first series. And I think this game, they're going to turn the ball over very early. I talked about it earlier, and Jake, I think we talked about this Eagles and Broncos games last week. And I was like, I got the Broncos getting the upset, and you were like, nah, but Nick Benito.
You did.
Yeah.
You picked the Broncos. My guy, dude. I need to start just listening to Cam. Throw my picks. Here are my picks.
Yeah.
Right here. These are my picks.
Not trash.
Yeah, just trash.
No. Jake, what I will say, though, is the Eagles got away with a few wins. They barely beat the Buccaneers, barely beat the Rams, and then you go against a team with a great defense, and we talked about it. Nick Benito had 2.5 sacks, and I'll never forget, Jake, beginning of our first top performer was Nick Benito, and you were like, he got paid, he's going to go off, and he had 2.5 sacks against Jalen Hurts. Like, that's in that offense. Jake, also this Eagles team, let me look up how many sacks they allowed. They allowed 6 sacks. Like, bro.
Crazy.
That's not good. So I will say within saying that is Brian Burns and Abdullah, they have a chance to get to the quarterback this game. So, but I still got the Eagles whooping them, bro, 27-17.
No, I love that you brought that up. I mean, I love Benito, but we won't go into our love fest here. But I guess we will, because the Broncos are next against the Jets here. This can be a quick one because this is going to get ugly. It's in London. Anything can happen, but also anything can happen. Give me the Broncos 37-13. It's not looking good in Jetland right now. I feel for the Jets fans. They deserve a winning team. I will say this right now. The defense is the worst it's been, and I covered them in 2022. I thought that they were 2 years away from being really good. They just needed a quarterback. That's why I wanted to go after Derek Carr at the time. But, man, it just feels like Aaron Glenn has sucked all of the defensive prowess out of this team. This at least used to be a team that would punch you in the mouth defensively. They were at least a pest. And the problem was they couldn't score. That's why they went out and got Aaron Rodgers. Okay? That didn't work, right? The offensive line got banged up, all of that. Now, Cam, what are we doing with this team? I mean, they let DJ Reed go thinking, yeah, Brandon Stevens, that'll be good enough. No, it won't. DJ Reed's a baller. What are you doing? You know, so I really don't understand how this team went from, wow, this defense is disgusting, even if they're going to win 7 games all year, the Browns are the new Jets, to now it's like, this might be the worst team in the National Football League. And even though you had a really good chance of being the Steelers and you had a really good chance of being the Bucs, you didn't. So it's 0-5 for you, and you are an 0-5 team. I'm sorry. So give me the Broncos in an absolute bloodbath, 37-13.
Jake, not you having beef with the Jets for letting you down, bro. That's tough.
I'm angry, man. No, I'm kidding. I don't have beef. It's just more so I feel for Jets fans. They deserve better. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, that's fair. I got the Broncos in this one, Jake, 33-14. Actually, not 33-14. I'll take that back. 33-21. I will say Justin Fields is playing really good ball, I would say. He's not really turning the football over too much. He did take 5 sacks, Jake, and that's unacceptable as well, right? You got to protect your quarterback. He went 32 for 46 for 283 yards, 100 passer rating. So that's decent. What I will say, Breece Hall is running the football really well. At the end of the day, he's a top 10 running back in the NFL, I think. With Omarion Hampton sadly not playing this week, Breece Hall, bump him up into that top 10 rank. But he had 113 yards with 14 carries and a fumble, sadly. Jake, I talked about it last show. I was like, yeah, there's going to be 4 block kicks this week, but I think there's only like 1. But this is like the fumble game now. Now we're getting to like block kicks and now like the fumbles. So running backs are fumbling the ball. Receivers are everybody. And so it's getting to week 6, Jake. People had the preseason as well. And so you think about the preseason training camp and then week 6, a break is needed. That bye is much needed. People are wearing out a little bit in Breece Hall and fumbling last week. But I got the Broncos winning this one. The game is overseas, but I do think that the Broncos coming off a masterful game against the Eagles, a big win there, they'll take this one as well.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are going to ship out well overseas. I think everything carries over from the Eagles game.
Yeah.
Despite maybe Jets fans hoping that doesn't happen. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, we have a rematch from, I think it was 2 years ago. They started off the season, Lions-Chiefs, and that was a really good game. I believe the Lions won that game. This is in Kansas City. It's such a tough game for me because I feel like it's the battle of overrated teams. I'm not sold on the Chiefs. They're 2-3. But all 3 of their games they lost down the stretch, like at the buzzer, essentially.
Yeah.
And the Lions, Cam, I'm going to come off as a hater, but hear me out, okay? They start the season 0-1. They got just absolutely pounded into the turf by the Packers. The only good team that they've played, because now we know that the Ravens are frauds. So here's the deal. Because the Ravens are frauds, they don't have a good win, Cam. This isn't college football. I'm sorry, the Bears don't even have half of their secondary healthy, and now I'm supposed to give you credit because you scored 52 on a team that's ailing. And then you go and you beat the Browns. Woo. And then
whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. And then you give up 24 points to the Joe Burrow-less Bengals. I'm sorry, Cam. I don't buy this team. I don't know why all these power rankings have them at 1. I guess what we learned is you want to get that loss out of the way week 1 because then everyone forgets about it. If you lose like any recently, people are like, oh, I don't know. But if you get mashed into oblivion by a rival, do it week 1 and then people are okay. So this is what I'll say. The Chiefs are going to win this game. It's going to come down to the wire just like all the Chiefs games do. But this time, it's going to be Harrison Butker hitting a game-winning field goal, 23-20 Chiefs.
23-20 Chiefs. I like that, Jake. I'm going to go the Chiefs as well. I'm going to go Chiefs 24, Detroit Lions 23. I think the run game for the Lions team is unbelievable. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jake, unbelievable. Sam Laporta went off last game against the Bengals. He went 5 for 6 for 92. He did a flip into the end zone. I mean, I don't have him on my fantasy football team, but I wish I did because Sam Laporta went crazy.
That was a good game for him. Get him back on the right track. I do agree.
Yeah. And think about Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jake. What type of season is he having? He 8 for 9 for 100 yards. Is he having a top 10 to top 15 wide receiver type of year? Because he's just showing up in every game, Jake. Every game, a lot of his routes are clean. He's just performing really well. So Amon-Ra St. Brown going to do a good job against his Chiefs defense. But I think what I will say, though, too, is that the Chiefs offense, the running game, Isaiah Pacheco, they're getting it going a little bit, right? You're starting to see the Chiefs that we know, but the games are a little bit too close for comfort, Jake, a little bit too close for comfort. And I know I said I got the Chiefs winning this one, Jake, but I'm actually going to flip this one.
The hell, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to flip this one, Jake, because I'm as I'm talking about the Lions, I'm like, damn, they actually got a pretty decent team. I know you mentioned that they might be a fluke, but I'm gonna flip this one, kind of like how I did the Eagles Broncos game. I'm gonna say Lions 24, Chiefs 23.
Wow. I will say this. I don't think either team's a fluke. I just think they're overrated.
Yeah, okay.
The Chiefs shouldn't be 6th in power rankings 2 and 3. And the Lions shouldn't be 1 in the power rankings when they've only played one good team and they got mashed into oblivion. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Like, they're still good teams. I had the Lions winning their division. I had the Chiefs barely making the playoffs at 10-7. But I mean, I still think they're both playoff teams. I just don't understand this like craze where it's like, oh, well, the Chiefs barely lost to the Jaguars, but there are other teams that barely lose to, say, the Eagles, and it's like, ooh, I don't know. So, yeah.
He said, woo.
Yeah, like the Bucks, like they barely lose to the Eagles. Now it's like, I don't know if the Bucks are legit. Then the Bucks do what they did against the Seattle Seahawks, and they're like, oh, the Bucks are legit. I was like, told you that, right? Like,
yeah. It's every week. It's in and out every week.
It is. The flip flopping is immaculate. Bills, Falcons. This is just, to me, such a bad matchup for the Falcons. And let me make this very clear. The Bills are an explosive offense.
Yeah.
But they're explosive outdoors. They're explosive on grass. What happens when you give Josh Allen turf? What happens when you give Josh Allen a dome? I think we saw that in SoFi Stadium against the Rams. Josh Allen turns into a whole other level. 6 touchdowns against the Rams last year. Anytime I've seen this guy play in those confines, it's crazy. So I just think, obviously, we've talked about it. Guys are faster on turf. It's harder to be, like, I guess, quicker, right, and make those cuts, and it's injury risk. But when you have an explosive offense through the air like what Josh Allen has, and you have a guy that can go north and south, I'm sorry. I think the Bills roll in this one, 38-21. Falcons coming off a bye, having to play the Bills. Yikes.
Especially the Bills losing to the Patriots. Yikes. Had 3 turnovers.
They ain't winning 2 straight. They ain't losing 2 straight.
No, not at all. I mean, it was 3 turnovers, Jake. Josh Allen had 1 on a reverse to Knox. Spillane had 1 on Coleman, so that was 2. And then Josh had a second turnover with a pick in the red zone. So he talked about it. He's like, it's unacceptable. And I think they're going to go whip some feet over there in Atlanta against the Falcons. Like you said, coming off a bye, I got the Buffalo Bills 31 to the Falcons 21. Although Michael Penix is playing a lot better. Bijan, Kyle Pitts, those guys are starting to come along nicely. Algiers in the backfield as well, helping out the run game. But I think the Bills are coming back for vengeance, bro. They got embarrassed against the Patriots. Stephon Diggs went off and for 100 or something yards. And I know that defense is probably pissed. So they're going to put hands on the Falcons, I think.
Yeah. And by the way, you can run on the Bills, but it's hard to run when Josh Allen turns this into a 2-possession or 3-possession game, right?
Yeah, right.
That's kind of where I see this one going. Stupid, but we have another Monday Night Football game. Bears, Commanders. I hate the doubleheader. And unfortunately, Cam, we're getting a 7:15, 8:15 doubleheader. The worst. Having two games on at the same time in prime time defeats the whole purpose of prime time. So, Cam, what does prime mean? It means literally one freaking number.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Not double. Yeah, not double. Hey, I mean, more football for the football fans, the better, I guess. The money thing, Jake. Hey, to each his own.
Yeah, it's wild to me. Bears, Commanders. Man, I like the Bears. I like Caleb Williams. Man, I'll tell you right now, Commanders know how to give up the big play. This could be, kind of going back and forth here. I'm going to take the Commanders at home, though. 27-23. Bears off a bye. I think they're going to be a little rusty, and I think the Commanders, they had a good win last week. I think they keep that train rolling.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is cooking, Jake. Coming back from an injury. I think he's going to do his thing. Bill Krosky, he's running the ball really well. I think ran for over 100 yards. Yeah, he's doing his thing. So I like the Commanders in this one too, Jake. I got the Commanders 28 to the Bears 24. Swift is running the ball pretty decent. Like you said, Caleb Williams is throwing the ball well. He's moving things along, but I don't know, Jake, if they'll have enough of this one. Commanders, they got embarrassed while Jaden Daniels was out, and I think now they're on the other side of making things happen. So I got the Commanders getting the dub in this one as well.
Yeah, and look, I was so close. I can't even tell you how close I was to picking Bill Krosky-Merritt as my running back. I think he is set up to have a huge game. The Bears are giving up the most yards per carry in the league. So I could see it.
Yeah.
He's going to be, I'm not getting credit for it, but I mean, he's going to be like number 2 or number 3 for sure. All right. We got our top games of the week. It's kind of hard to decide. We're going to go with the Rams-Ravens, mainly because we know there are a lot of Rams fans watching us. So, because we know the Ravens aren't 100% healthy. This could be interesting, though. Anytime the Rams play the Ravens, the game is close. It just is. It either goes to overtime or it comes down the wire. And this has been the case even when Lamar Jackson doesn't play. Let's just forget about 2019 when Lamar Jackson had like 5 touchdowns and they lost 44-6. But Rams-Ravens, okay? This is a game that I expect the Rams, coming off a mini bye, losing the way they did, to just be pissed off. Yeah. I don't expect them to lose this game. I don't think there's any trap game here. I don't think there's any potential of that. I know they're going off to London after this one. But give me the Rams 31-20. I already mentioned I think Stafford has a game, the best game of the week for quarterbacks. I think Puka's back doing his thing. And Sean McVay kind of alluded to this idea. They're going to keep Tutu Atwell going. So that gets me excited. Unfortunately, they will be without Omar Speights, who has a high ankle sprain. As I'm doing this with a former Rams linebacker, I thought the linebacker should know about the linebacker news. So our guy Sean Dolak will be splitting time with Troy Reeder to take over his role. So UDFA. Yeah. What do you think about that? Seeing Sean Dolak?
Sean Dolak, I love to see it. He balled out in the preseason, Jake. I think everyone wants that to happen. And, when I was watching that Rams and 49ers game, I was wondering in the end zone, right? When Troy Reeder and Nate Lemon, they were out on the edge versus Christian McCaffrey, and they didn't switch off the defense. They didn't box it, essentially. They kind of stayed with their man, got picked, and he scored. And I'm like, wait, where's Omar Speights at? Omar Speights was like in the box somewhere because they had a goal line stand at first, and they spread out from there. And so when I was saying that, I'm like, I kind of like Troy Reeder's good. He's decent, Jake, but I kind of like Dolak. Dolak is just a little bit better. Dolak is a little bit less experienced, but I think he's a little bit more athletic than Troy Reeder is. I think he's going to give the Rams a little bit more of an advantage at that position. But I think it's a good week for Dolak to get in there. He's going to be going against Derrick Henry, so it's going to be a long day, right? Buckle up that chin strap. But what I will say though is Chris Shula's defense is known for stopping these great running backs. We talked about it last week against Christian McCaffrey. How do we stop the run game? I think Christian only had about 50 yards, but he had about 80 yards receiving. So thankfully, Derrick Henry is not the pass-catching running back that we know him to be. But stop Derrick Henry, stop Christian McCaffrey, stop Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor. The list goes on. So making sure that Derrick Henry doesn't get going, I think, is going to be the biggest part of this game. Of course, Zay Flowers as well, Jake. I think you talked about it. He has the biggest separation rate amongst most wide receivers in the NFL. And so double teaming him, I think, is going to be important. Mark Andrews, keep an eye on him as well, because he is, and I don't even know if he's a Hall of Fame tight end anymore, Jake. At one point, I was like, Is he? But I don't know, man. I think at some point the Ravens are going to move on from him because he got Isaiah Likely. But I don't know if I like him as a Hall of Fame tight end. Jake, what are your thoughts on that?
He feels like he's in the Hall of Very Good. I don't think he's quite. I mean, it's hard to make. See, it's not like other Hall of Fame. It is really hard to make the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're still talking about Torrey Holt not in the Hall of Fame. I don't know what we're doing. L.C. Greenwood of the Steelers not in the Hall of Fame. Lester Hayes not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's just off the top of my head, right? Like, that's that awful, right? So it's hard to make the Hall of Fame. I don't really view Mark Andrews as a Hall of Famer, but I mean, hey, his story is not written, so
and also, and to that point though, right? We're talking about Hall of Fame or not. It's a tough lead to get into, but keep an eye on him for the Rams, right? Quentin Lake's gonna have his hands full covering him down the field, but this one, Jake, I got the Rams winning 31 to. Oh, sorry, you said 31 to 20, so I'm gonna change my score. I got the Rams winning this one 28 to the Baltimore Ravens 21. Like you mentioned, I think it's going to be close. What I would like to see, Jake, is the tight ends being used just a little bit more. Ferguson, Allen. I mean, these guys need to be getting a little bit more active, I think, in the pass game for the Rams to find that success. But we talked about it earlier. This Baltimore Ravens defense is allowing everything to happen. So protecting the football will be the key, and making sure that there's no field goals being blocked, extra points being blocked. Those are the two things I want to see from the Rams: ball security and protect the damn kicker when it comes to the field goals and the extra points. And it'll be a good game for us.
Yeah, and speaking of things that matter and fundamentals, it is the battle between whatever you want to call it, right? You got Jonathan Gannon versus Shane Steichen, two coordinators from the Eagles Super Bowl team. And you also have the two teams that have the dumbest fumbles you'll ever see. Adonai Mitchell and Amari DeMercado just dropping the ball at the 1 yard line, having it go back out the end zone. So I'm sure the Colts have been watching a lot of Cardinals tape and said, don't do that. I'm sure the Cardinals have been watching a lot of the Colts and saying, do not do that. And DeMercado did not get the message, apparently. So Colts are going to roll in this one. I don't see how they stop Jonathan Taylor. Then you got Indiana Jones playing the way he's playing. Daniel Jones. I love that, Indiana Jones. I just think Indy right now is the best team in the National Football League. Currently. It is October 8th. As of right now, on October 8th, the Indianapolis Colts are the best team in the NFL. So they will win this game. And I got to tell you, I'm souring on Kyler Murray. Drew Petzing, you already know my thoughts on him. Terrible offensive coordinator. It's like Luke Getsy, where I'll never forget when you were explaining that. You're like, he ran the same play.
The screenplay and backed up, twice. And Levante was like, bro, we're not idiots. That was crazy.
No, that's insane. So Drew Petzing is literally that. So give me the Colts in an absolute blowout, 38-13. No one has even come close to beating them at Lucas Oil Stadium. And I definitely don't think this Cardinals team, the way Kyler's playing, the way Drew Petzing is calling a defense or calling an offense, and no James Conner. I just think right now, no James Conner, no Trey Benson. There's just not many ways you can beat the Colts. So I'm going to take the Colts 38-13.
I like it, Jake. I got the Colts on this one 30-17. You mentioned the Colts being one of the best teams in the NFL. I agree. I mean, they should have beat the Rams if AD did not drop the ball at the goal line, but he did. So shout out, Rams were able to win that one, but the Colts are crushing it right now. Was it Geno Smith that they had 3 interceptions against? I mean, they had Geno in a blender. It was a Raiders match, right? That they beat them. I think it was, but it
wasn't close.
Yeah, it wasn't close. I mean, at one point, the Raiders needed to switch their quarterbacks. Like, hey, do we need to get Aiden O'Connell in here? Do we need to get somebody else in here to run this offense? Because Geno is not looking good. So I like the Colts as well. You talked about their run game. I think one of their tight end is, bro, I'm looking at I'm Tyler Warren. I'm talking about Pittman. I'm Jonathan Taylor. Like, they're stacked on every level. So I like the Colts in this dub.
No, I really like the Colts. I think they need to go out and try, and get, Trey Hendrickson or a Max Crosby. I mean, hell, the Raiders should have to give Max Crosby to them. 40-6 is pathetic. So yeah, that just you should lose. It should be like the pink slip when you're street racing and you lose your car or whatever.
Fast and Furious, yeah, go ahead and give me the car.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, yeah, we'll take Max Crosby, thank you very much, because he is being tired of wasting away, and he's never going to play for a Super Bowl on that team. No. So Tom Brady should come out of retirement and play quarterback for this team. I mean, you might as well, right? Can't get any worse. So
brutal. Pete Carroll's having a rough go at it.
Yeah, I feel for him, but I think we're seeing it, man. They had talent. I'm not saying, like, this team has talent. They shouldn't be this bad. Pete Carroll has lost it. So is Bill Belichick with UNC. So you know what? It's just sometimes you just got to hang it up. I literally, as I said that, just got an alert on the side of my computer that said Bill Belichick is working on a buyout with North Carolina.
Oh, damn.
So there you go. Like on cue. So
yeah,
I'm starting to, I mean, Antonio Pierce, I'm not going to say he was the greatest coach ever, but I felt like maybe they should have given him another year. I think he was a better leader of men than Pete Carroll is on October 8th, 2025. Obviously, we know Pete can lead. But right now, is he that same coach? I think he's past his prime.
Yeah, little grandpa-ish at the moment, sadly, for Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick. You talk about Bill Belichick working on a buyout, and you talk about that Colts team. Well, I was thinking about Xavier Howard, how he stopped playing football after Puka Nacua went to town on him. So
I know. He was tackling him before he even got the ball. The refs are like, I mean, it's a flag, but he caught it. So,
yeah. Xavier Howard was getting torched, my guy. I mean, they had, of course, and Xavier, to be fair though, Jake, Xavier Howard was leading the league in interceptions when he was with the Dolphins. Like, he's had his time, but he decided to hang up the cleats. So Bill Belichick, Xavier Howard, and Pete Carroll got to figure out how to wrap this thing up.
Bye-bye. Enjoy retirement. Hey, it's a good thing, right? They're all talented in their own right. Xavier Howard had a good career in this league. But we move on to the Panthers and Cowboys. I think this game is going to be really good. I feel like people kind of look at the Panthers and are like, and I'm just kind of like, I don't really understand that, because like when I look at the Panthers, I get they've had some blowout loss, whatever. But they're undefeated at home. They dominated the Falcons, right? And they came back last week against the Dolphins. I understand it's the Dolphins, but I was really impressed. They should have beat the Cardinals. They came all the way back. Bryce Young has some kahunas. Yeah. So I'm going to say this. I think the Panthers are going to get the dub here. And I love the way Dak is playing. Dak is my number 2 MVP candidate behind Stafford currently. I can't believe you have them both on your team. That can't be easy. But no, I just think right now, the way the Panthers have been playing at home, I don't know if they're going to get Jalen Coker back, but he is so key and critical to their offense. Their offense is going to be a lot better if they do. And if you can get him back this week against this Cowboys secondary, now you're cooking. So I already told you Teteroa McMillan's going to go off. I think Bryce Young's going to have a really good game. And the Panthers win this one 24-23 in a fun one. That's going to come down to the wire.
This game's going to be better than I thought, Jake. When I looked at it, I was like, I don't know. And then I started watching the tape. I'm like, okay. Rico Dowdle went off for 200 yards. He's going against his former team in the Cowboys. So it's going to be a shootout, I think, Jake. You got Williams back there as well, running for the Cowboys, running his ass off. I think he ran for like 100 yards last game. Dak Prescott. He looks great. Yeah. They both look great. It's going to be a running back show out, I think, this game. You did mention that the Panthers are getting better. Bryce Young, he's looking a lot better, thank God. I mean, you got the Panthers and the Dolphins matchup, like those two quarterbacks. That I was like, what's this going to be like? But it was a lot better than I figured. What I will say though, Jake, is for this Carolina Panthers team, I don't know if they're going to be able to get the dub against the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are cooking a little bit right now. After that loss to the Giants, Russell went through for 400 yards on them. I think they had a little fire turned up on them. So I got the Cowboys winning this one 28-20. I think the running backs are going to go off on this one. And then, I think Dak Prescott is going to continue to firm up his MVP candidacy because he's playing his ass off right now.
He is without CD too. So Ryan Flournoy, that's a big name. I don't know if you guys have been following, but over 100 yards last week against the Jets. I understand if you guys didn't watch the game. I get it. It was against the Jets, but Flournoy went over 100 yards, 6 catches, right? I think he's from SEMO, Southeast Missouri, right? Crazy, but
and Pickens too. Sorry, and George Pickens. Let's talk about. I mean, he did.
Yeah, Pickens is balling too, Cam.
Yeah, I had him as my top performer last weekend. His stats didn't show it necessarily, but he had an explosive touchdown for like 40, 50 yards against Sauce Gardner. So he's showing up on tape, Jake. He's week in and week out. Without CeeDee Lamb, he's the number one receiver, and it's good to see him balling out.
Yeah, he's tied for second with Ibuka and Roma Dunze in receiving touchdowns. So yeah, he's balling right now for sure. I like what I'm seeing from him. All right, so we move on to the Seahawks and Jaguars. This one is this is tough. All right, so Cooper Kupp going up against former offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. There's probably some other different things. I feel like these two teams that they definitely have players that have, former players, what have you, that I can't think of right now, but that's the only thing I could think of. I think it's going to be a fun game. I feel like people are kind of not giving Seattle enough credit because they lost. And I really felt like they played well enough to win against a tough Tampa team. And you can't give Tampa all the credit in the world and then act like a loss to them is the worst thing ever. So I'm going to say Seattle goes into Duval. And wins. Nice. No one. So, Cam, in case you didn't know this, and there's no way you probably did, I'm undefeated. I'm probably some other teams as well, but I know I'm undefeated. I'm picking the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've picked them right every time. That includes the loss that they had to Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Burrow goes down, and Browning played well in that game. I had the Jags losing that, but I've picked the Jags to win every game aside from that. I had them beating the 49ers, the Chiefs. I had it. So I'm going to take Seattle in this one.
Okay.
So sorry, Jags, you're going 4-2 because I apparently dictate your entire season.
Well, okay, let's put a pin in this one, Jake, because I'm going to get the Jacksonville Jaguars getting the dub over the Seattle Seahawks on this one, 20-17. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are rolling right now. Trevor Lawrence has been hearing the smack talk. I mean, even, Jake, before the season, Jake, we were even talking about Trevor Lawrence. We were like, I don't know. Like, they put Instagram posts of him, like, they changed the name of the stadium with his name. And we were like, what is this?
I'm still on that, Cam.
Okay, you're still that way. Okay.
But I know I'll hear you out.
Yeah, with the trip and fall, then he went and scored again, and they beat the Chiefs. Like, it just looks a little goofy. It feels a little goofy, but I think that this team, Jake, is rolling. I think ETN is doing a good job of toting the rock. I like what they're putting together. On the offensive side, Liam Cohen, it's good to see him find success after going viral with the Duval, whatever that is. It's really cool to see him do that. And you think about the GM, he's a young first-time GM. It's a first-time offensive coordinator, first-time head coach. And so those guys are hungry and they're fighting their ass off. And I think they'll go ahead and get this win against Seattle. Jake, it's October 8th, and I still think it's 90 degrees out in Florida. And so Jacksonville was the hottest place that I played in Miami, played in Tampa, but Jacksonville, that shit is like a sauna. I think Seattle, they're going to struggle from that a little bit, coming from Tampa, being dehydrated there, and going to Jacksonville. I think it's going to wear them down a little bit. So I got Jacksonville Jaguars winning this one 20-17.
Damn, that is brutal. Okay. Yeah,
but no, keep the pick, Jake. Let's see if you're right on your selection.
No, I'm going to keep the pick. My reasoning is because I love Jacksonville's defense. I do.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd. Yeah, he's going crazy.
But I just feel like it's going to come down to a 30-27 game, and who in a 30-27 game, quarterbacks have to step up. And I just trust, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but I just trust Sam Darnold more than I trust Trevor Lawrence late in games. I know the irony there, right? Trevor Lawrence just went down the field and scored against the Kansas City Chiefs, AFC champions. And Sam Darnold went down the field, and he's had multiple turnovers in the red zone to win games. I don't care. Sam Darnold is playing so well right now, and Trevor Lawrence is a roller coaster. He makes a wow throw, that pocket throw where he puts it in between two defenders. Getting that to BTJ, I thought that throw was insane.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and you're like, what the hell throw was that? It's like that is Trevor Lawrence. That is the Trevor Lawrence experience. I don't want to be a part of that experience. So give me Sam Darnold in this one, 30-27. And sticking with the NFC West here and sticking with the Florida, the state of Florida, right?
Yeah.
We're talking the 49ers going to Tampa. Huge win against the Rams. It was on a short week. Now with a full week, what does this team look like? Mini bye. Buccaneers going to Seattle, coming off a motivational win. What does that look like? I'm curious if Jacksonville and Tampa are going to rock the all white because you said it's going to be really hot.
Yeah.
That I'm curious about. Not that would dictate what I'm picking. I really want to. I mean, I don't want to, but like I really am leaning like the 49ers have a shot in this one. I think it's going to be wicked close. I think a big reason Charlie Heck is at right tackle. I think right now Tampa's really banged up, but they just continue to find a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Buccaneers 31-30. It's
Nice.
close, Cam. It's so close. I had it like written down and I still almost changed it right here. It's so close, but I'm going to take Tampa. I don't think the 49ers are like great, but I think they are scary enough because they can go on the road and they can stay in games. And then if they're there, they can just wait on you to make a mistake. It's like no different than a cornerback sticking in the hip pocket of a receiver. As long as I'm there, I can make a play. When I'm not in that hip pocket anymore, I can't make a play on the football. That's what the 49ers are. They are a cornerback against a wide receiver, and they just stick to your hips, and they don't let go.
Yeah. I like that. This one, Jake, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go Buccaneers 28, 49ers 21. Reason why the Buccaneers get this win is because Mac Jones is coming off a big dub against the Rams. He pulled it off by the skin of his teeth, but I don't know if he'll be able to do that again, Jake. A lot of times it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of effort to like pull something off like that. I think Kendrick Bourne's going to be double teamed this game. I hope the Buccaneers watch some tape like, okay, Kendrick Bourne went off. Mac Jones loves his connection. Let's make sure we stop him. Christian McCaffrey is catching the ball in the backfield. Let's stop him as well. But I think the Buccaneers get this dub. I think Ebuka goes off again. I mean, to be honest, we probably should pick Emeka each week, bro, because he goes off. He snaps.
So smart.
Yeah. Bucky Irvin, Rashad White, those guys find a way. And then Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin is due. I think he's back for his second or third game. So I think it's time for him to start getting things rolling. And I think that Rams offense makes it happen. Levante David with a crazy pick to end the game last week against Sam Darnold. So yeah, bro, I like the Buccaneers on this one, keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, I like it too. And now we'll get into the rapid fire here because we got our premier games out of the way. Chargers, Dolphins, I think before the season started, it still wasn't that great of a game, but give me the Chargers 21-17. I hate that Omarion Hampton isn't playing. He would have absolutely tore the Dolphins defense to shreds, but it won't matter anyway because the Dolphins are not as good as the Chargers. Give me the Chargers.
Okay. Jake, I'm going to go the Dolphins in this one. I'm going to go the Dolphins in this one. Reason being that running game is slowing down. I think Justin Herbert had the most rushing yards, was it last game? The Chargers defense isn't really showing up how they should. So I like the Dolphins to get the dub on this one. I think they're starting to put it together. Nick Chubb is finding the football a little bit more each week. Each week I see him forcing a fumble, getting a fumble. Achane is – I know Tyreek Hill's out, Jake, and Waddle's a good player. He had 100 yards or so, but Achane, he might be a top 10 running back in the league. I mean, he's catching the football out of the backfield, scoring touchdowns. I mean, he's one of the more impressive players, but I got the Dolphins winning this one.
And then Patriots, Saints. We like the Patriots here on this show.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Patriots to go 4-2 to start the season. That was my sleeper team, 33-23. I think it'll be a fun affair, but I think they go into the Big Easy and get this thing done.
Yeah, I like the Saints. I'm sorry, I do not like the Saints in this one. Taysom Hill is back for the Saints, so I think he's throwing touchdowns, he's doing his thing, or throwing passes. But I like the Patriots winning this one, Jake, 24-20. Saints, Rashid Shaheed's doing his thing, but my guy Stephon Diggs, he's starting to heat up, and I like it. Him and Drake May are doing great things. Ramondre Stevenson, though, Jake, he needs to stop fumbling the football, my guy. Because
Stop putting it on the carpet.
yeah. Come on, brother. Come on.
Yeah, especially now. Antonio Gibson unfortunately suffered a torn ACL, so it's Ramondre Stevenson and it's Travion Henderson, and if he fumbles again, he might never get the job back from Travion Henderson.
Yeah, bro. I mean, he fumbled twice the 2 games before, and then this past game fumbled once. Yeah, he'll have to tighten up. Him and Kyron Williams have to tighten up.
And Derrick Henry. I feel like he's fumbled every game. So
yeah.
Browns Steelers, an AFC North matchup between, well, Dylan Gabriel, who is a very young player in this league, a rookie. He's older for a rookie, but young, and Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to take the Steelers in this one. I think the Steelers defense dominates, but I just think the Browns defense is that, like I mentioned earlier in the show, they're like the Jets from 2022, where it's like they're going to win 7 games, but their defense is going to punch you in the mouth every single time they can. Give me the Steelers to win 23-16 in a very close but kind of boring game.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Steelers to win this one 20-13. Like you mentioned, that defense, Myles Garrett, Devin Bush, like those guys are balling out, bro. I just picked them up on my fantasy squad, so I think they'll pull through with this one, or best they can. Aaron Rodgers slinging the football, finding DK Metcalf, which we wanted to see when they got traded, but I got the Steelers win this one 20-13.
Yeah, and then we got the Bengals and Packers, a game that I think before the season we're like, oh, that's a good game. Joe Burrow versus Jordan Love. And now it's Joe Burrow versus, or it's not Joe Burrow, it's Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Is he going to, I don't know if he starts, but he might. That's why they acquired him, I believe. So Joe Flacco taking on Jordan Love. Packers coming off a bye. Give me the Packers 27-10. I think the Bengals are one of the worst teams in the league right now.
Yeah, I got the Packers 31-17. Jordan Love, like I said, the seam ball is probably one of my favorites. Michael Parsons hopefully goes off against the Bengals. And yeah, Bengals aren't looking too good, my guy. Looking worse than the Panthers. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those things like where I honestly felt like they should have traded for somebody other than Joe Flacco, like anybody. Flacco has no mobility, right? So the Bengals don't have a good offensive line. That's the issue. So you don't go out and get, somebody like a Jameis Winston. Well, now, I mean, like we're talking no mobility with Flacco. I just don't feel like this is a good against this Packers defense that's been really good in coverage. I don't get it. So yeah, it's not going to be good. 27-10. And then last and definitely least, Titans versus Raiders.
Shoot.
Yeah. Which one's worse? No, here's my thing, okay? The Raiders have nothing going for them because they have an old coach in Pete Carroll who has just has passed his prime like we talked about. You got a veteran quarterback in Geno who's playing like a rookie. Whereas on the flip side of it, the Titans just won their first game of the year. And that was the wildest win I've ever seen. They didn't deserve it, but hey, that's football. They've got the win. Cam Ward is making wow throws. He's making some of the throws I saw from Geno last year. Give me Cam Ward and the Titans to win their second in a row against a just miserable Raiders team right now.
Yeah, I'll flip this one, Jake. I'll go Raiders 27, Titans 21. Geno, I think it can't get any worse than that, I hope. Those 3 interceptions, that's crazy. Ashton Jeanty was your top performer. He's going to ball out. And then you got Tony Pollard on the other side who's doing this thing as well. So it's going to be a good running game. But I think Max Crosby is going to have another breakout game as well. And Raiders win this one 27-21.
So that's what we got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Cam, we'll have to figure out what our record is and everything for our picks. Because I had somebody ask me that. I actually probably could find it right now real quick because I do Pigskin Pick'em. Yeah, I'm 52-25.
Nice. Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, up 97.3 percentile. So we'll take that to the bank.
Not bad.
Last week was abysmal, Cam. Abysmal.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think I went what? 8-6.
Oh, it was that Broncos Eagles game. I'm telling you that one.
Well,
That was a good
it
one.
was the Rams. That's not a way you want to start off the week. Then I almost got every game in the 1:00 slate, but I got the Eagles game wrong. I got the Seahawks game wrong. I had the Seahawks beating the Buccaneers. You did not. That's 2 there. I had the Cardinals beating the Titans like anyone would. The Chargers I had beating the Commanders.
Yeah.
The Bills beating the Patriots. So there you go.
Yeah, tough day, but it's good football, bro. This is what it's about. You can't sleep on any of these teams, and yeah, man, it's like I said, I'm excited to see the quarterbacks that weren't doing well last year do really well this year. At the top of that slate, Sam Darnold did good, but Sam Darnold's, the Daniel Jones. I mean, man, it's Baker Mayfield. Like these guys are cooking. It's good ball.
No, I agree. So, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed. Time flies when you're having fun. Week 6. It's crazy. We're already at week 6. So really appreciate you guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. Drop a comment if you haven't already. And also, go and tell your favorite person that would enjoy this show. Tell them about it. Give them the link. Send it over. We're trying to grow this thing. We'd be really appreciative if you could do that. For Jake Ellenbogen, he is Cameron Lynch. You could follow me at JK Bogan. You can follow Cam at Cameron Lynch 50. We will be back next Wednesday, as always, for week 7 of the NFL season. But that is going to do it. You guys take care, and we'll see you guys soon.
Peace.